let's talk about Cortege and the two images we have of his in the book, because they're both quite different and they're both quite magical to me. The one of the Tokyo with the umbrellas and the arrow on the street is one of those shots where things just aligned. You can feel the alignment, the geometry, the shapes, the color, or the black and white, but the tones. And it's a fabulous shot just because it's such a moment. A moment later, it probably wouldn't have been quite the same, and a moment before, it wouldn't have been quite the same. So I love that shot. The other Cortege shot in the book is unusual because it's the sort of thing that you would never photograph. It just doesn't make sense. It's looking out on a balcony at the sea, and there's a glass divider between two balconies, two hotel room balconies, I think. And the shot is of the sea and the railing and the glass divider, and you see the shape of a person in there, but you can't really see any of the detail. It's the sort of thing that we would almost always ignore because it doesn't belong there. It's not a visual image. It's part of the noise of the situation rather than the subject matter. And yet when you do notice it, it's a brilliant perception. It's stunning. Makes a great photograph, I think. So that's Cortege. There's also that wonderful Cartier-Bresson shot of Martine Frank's legs on the couch. And Frank was his wife. And it's also a very unusual way to photograph one's wife, just the legs in the book. So Michael's shots, I think the one that first comes to mind for me is the blue chair against the red wall. And that's just such a strong image of color. And the thing about color is it's very hard to put concepts on color. You can think about it a bit, but your thinking doesn't go very far. And when you see really vivid color, it overwhelms the thinking mind. So the perceptual quality and the richness of it is fantastic. So I love that photograph. One of my shots, I think, I'm trying to remember if it's in the book. One of my current favorites is two shopping carts, and I think it may not have made it into the book. But this is an image of two shopping carts in a supermarket parking lot right at the edge by a little bit of pavement. And we've been going around doing slideshows for promoting the book, for the book tour. And this is one of the images in the slideshow. And whenever I show it, I'm really taken with it because there's no reason why a photograph of two shopping carts should have any appeal to anyone at any time. But there's something about the situation, the alignment, the way they're situated, that I find very pleasing, even though I think I shot that maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and I've seen it many times. And I think it's a great example of how something very, very ordinary, when the light is right and you're right and you're there, can have great appeal and be exquisite in its own way without being beautiful or fitting any other concept you might have about what a photograph should be. Yeah.
One more of yours that's in the book?
Yeah. There's a shot of a very bright yellow wall with some pigeons on it, and a very blue sky, which I shot in Mexico a couple of years ago. And it's also a picture where the subject matter is truly banal, that it's concrete wall and pigeons and sky. Like, you don't get more ordinary stuff than that. But the color and brightness, and the fact that a couple of the pigeons are flying, and the way the whole thing just goes together, I find very pleasing.